Hey there, theme park nerds. Welcome to another episode of the Theme Park Nerds video blog. Today we have a special co-host on the line, all the way from the east side of the country. It's East Side Mike. How you doing, East Side Mike?
Doing really well, West Side Mike.
Mike and I go a long way back. We worked at a certain magical kingdom parks run by a mouse a long time ago, so he's just as much of an expert on the theme parks. In fact, he just recently went to Cedar Point and got to participate in a brand new roller coaster. You may have heard of it, known as the GateKeeper. I'm quite anxious to know what your thoughts on Cedar Point were, but first and foremost, what'd you think of the Keeper?
GateKeeper was a fantastic ride. It's really, really smooth. It's got that new sort of restraint system that's really comfortable, so you're not banging your head around and stuff. It starts you off going to a nice quick lift, and then you do the tallest inversion in the world at the moment, straight off the bat. So it really is a great way to start your day, and that's, of course, how I did at the park. Yeah, like I said, the smooth ride is really what sticks out in my mind the most, but everything about it, it's really well done. It's a smooth, great coaster. So.
Now, I know you've been on X over at Magic Mountain, and that's kind of my point of reference on these kind of wing coaster. I know X has the rotating seats and does the multi-dimension thing. So, but it seems like the restraint systems are really similar, and it seems like other than the rotation, the ride experience would be kind of similar. Is that are they similar, or are they totally different?
I would say they're totally different. The whole feel of X is, I would say, for lack of a better word, more extreme. I don't know if it's the flipping cars or I don't exactly know what it is, or just the whole feel of it. Of course, the speakers behind your head and all that stuff. But X is a little more extreme, a little more intense to my mind. GateKeeper is a little more easygoing for me. I didn't really get that rush of like, oh my god, I'm going to die.
What's the point then? Why ride a roller coaster for the first time? You think, oh my god, you're going to die. That's the reason.
I don't know, not for me. I feel like there's more to it than that. There's like how you can appreciate the way that they put it together and the physics of it, the way it works. Like I said, this is just such a polished coaster. If you're looking for something like Top Thrill Dragster, which of course we could talk about a little bit later, but at that park, that's extreme thrills, and so if that's what you want, you go there. But this coaster, it's a great way to start your day, I feel like, and like I said, it's got a high drop and everything, but it's still kind of a good easy win coaster.
You think it's a solid addition to the park, and it's one of those coasters going to stand the test of time and be good for years?
Definitely think that, yeah. I think it's really good, and it's a great icon to the park too, because those keyholes are sitting right above the gate to the park. So it's the first thing you see while you're standing in line to get into the park. The coaster is shooting through the keyholes right over your head. It's pretty impressive visually.
Very cool. Now, you talked about how, the impression of the park, that GateKeeper right over the top. Let's talk about some of your first impressions of the park, because this is your first time at Cedar Point. I've never been to Cedar Point. So as someone, who's, first coming in, your first impression of everything there, as park as a whole, what were your thoughts?
It was pretty overwhelming. Of course, I was there, I guess I should probably say also, I was there for an event that's only accessible to members of roller coaster clubs. And I'm a member of ACE, American Coaster Enthusiasts, and so we were there for Coaster Mania, and I got all this fancy Coaster Mania swag. So we got these cool things that listed the extended ride times, so we started at 7:30 in the morning, and we were there all the way until 12:30 at night.
So a nice little short day.
Yeah, it's a great park. It's really big, and we crisscrossed it so many times because of the way the extended ride times worked and the coasters we wanted to ride and stuff. So we went back and forth a ton of times. So we definitely got our walking in. But it's nice. It's not overly pretty, but it's certainly, all of the landscaping is well manicured. I didn't feel like it was dirty or anything like that, like some other theme parks that I've been to. Six Flags America.
We would never ever put down Six Flags and their fine reputation of outstanding world-class theme parks. Ever.
The Cedar Park as a whole, it was a lot of fun. They did a lot of good things, and I get the impression that they're kind of changing. I know Matt LeMay is recently taken over as, I think, CEO, and is bringing some Disney magic to Cedar Fair. So we'll see what effect that has.
Well, let's talk about highlights and lowlights of the park. So, we talked about GateKeeper. Let's put that off to the side. That's the new hotness, and that is what it is. Aside from that, what was your favorite portion of the park? What was the things that you kind of, were hoping it would be grander? What are your highs and lows?
It was solid. I mean, they have so many coasters. I think it's 16, and I didn't even make it on all of them because I'm not the biggest wooden coaster fan, so I don't like being a human crash test dummy.
That's the best thing ever. Just shake it, bash it around.
So we missed we skipped 2 other wooden roller coasters, and we skipped the corkscrew, which looked like it was probably going to do kind of the same thing, but in metal. But yeah, we did hit Millennium. It is a great coaster. It shoots you up to a really, really high drop, 80 degrees, I think, down, and you get so much great airtime. We rode that 4 times that day, and I would have happily ridden it 10 more times. It's a really great coaster. Doesn't beat you up too much, really not at all, actually. And I highly recommend that ride. So that one's great. Of course, Top Thrill Dragster is one of the ultimate rushes. I mean, especially not having been, I've never done Accelerator because the one time I've been to Knott's Berry Farm, it was closed after it had opened. So
me too.
Yeah, awesome.
Go Accelerator.
So, and that's like the little baby brother to Top Thrill Dragster. Top Thrill Dragster is significantly, I think, twice as big or something.
Yeah, it's huge.
So it's 405 feet, I want to say, and does 120 miles an hour, 0 to 120 in 4 seconds. It's unreal. I mean, it's over, I think it's 17 seconds or something like that, so you almost don't have time to be scared. But yeah, I was able to do that ride 3 times as well, and the front twice and the back once. So it's unreal. Like I said, just unreal. I mean, you sit there and the anticipation just kills you when you're looking up at that 400-foot monolith in front of you that you're going to be on top of in 10 seconds. And yeah, and the way it spins you around and you're staring down 400 feet to your doom. It's pretty terrifying. It's awesome. Yeah, exactly. No, it's a great ride. So it's a solid ride. And one other ride that really stuck out, well, 2 other rides that really stuck out. The second newest ride, Maverick, is a double launch coaster. It does a launch straight off the gate and into a nice, pretty respectable climb, and then a great drop, and then in a tunnel it launches you again. So it's a lot of fun, really different from most other coasters I've been on. So I highly recommend that one. It does bang your head around a little bit, but not too bad. So, and then Magnum was the big daddy of its day. And I didn't get around to that one until the extended ride time we had, right at maybe 11 at night or something like that. And that was just amazing. It beats the bejesus out of you. But I mean, I think I had like a huge bruise on my leg because it only has a lap bar, it doesn't have shoulder restraints, and oh man. And it takes your picture right at that point where I got that bruise, and so I almost bought the picture because my wife and I was sitting next to me, and we both had this pain look of like, oh god, ow.
Sign of a good time.
It was a good time though. The coaster, it's just so good. And then and because it was pitch black and you're right on the lake, Cedar Point is just on this basically an island, sandbar island out in the Lake Erie. It was pitch black, and there's this one point where you're shooting up a great, really good hill before a second drop, and it looks like you're just going to go out into space because you couldn't see anything. It was completely black. And then it's got a couple of tunnels that were also pitch black, so it was pretty amazing. It was a totally different experience, I'm sure, in the day, but still a great coaster. So
yeah, all the other ones just kind of seem like your standard off the shelf. Like, I mean, they're good coasters, but they're the run of the mill. Every park's got to have one. Corkscrew coaster, your regular Woody, or all the other, like the stuff that you've got to have a proper coaster park.
Yeah, and the Mantis, it's a standing coaster.
Yeah.
That one I did play ping pong with my head.
Yeah, well,
so,
as most standing coasters do. I don't think there's any standing coasters that are comfortable. I think they're just painful.
There was nothing comfortable about that coaster. I mean, I still feel like I can have children probably
Well, that's good. I mean,
afterwards, which is good.
Your wife will appreciate that, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, yeah, their nighttime show was Luminosity. It was interesting, sort of like a mishmash sing along with all of the new hits of today,
Nice.
and some added fire and some few fireworks at the end. It was interesting.
It was an attempt. I mean, most parks like that don't even attempt a nighttime show. At least they made some sort of effort.
Yeah, they did, and I mean the singers were pretty talented, and I mean I enjoyed myself.
It was live singers.
Oh yeah,
oh
yeah, they were running around singing. I mean it was this crazy like mashup singing all new songs, like pop songs, pop hits, things like that.
Yeah.
It was interesting, but they ran around. I don't know how they kept singing. They were running around all over the place. I really enjoyed it. It's a great park, and I mean it's kind of the mecca for coaster nerds. So, and I can see why. I mean, you can happily fill a day there.
well, on that note, coaster nerds, we're gonna call it a day for now. So, thanks a lot for joining us on this little Cedar Point update. I'm Westside Mike.
I'm Eastside Mike,
and we'll see you later, nerds.